All right, welcome back to Mastering MMA. I'm Coach Lee again. This is a video from one of our classes. We are adding on to the hip bump series, which was the last one I posted from this class. We've done the hip bump to Kimura and guillotine. So now we're adding a triangle out of that, which is one of my favorites, and an armbar off the defense to the triangle. So I am going to hopefully put a link up here for the previous video if you would like to see the details on that, because I kind of blow through as a review, but I've got more detailed footage of it. So I'll put a link up for that. And also, you'll hear in this video some advice I got from way back in the day. It was when I was first starting. It actually came from one of our pro fighters, and it'll kind of amaze you at the way the game has changed over the years. So let me know what you think in the comments after this video. Definitely hit like, subscribe, and enjoy. When I first started training, this one guy told me, he said, if you don't know what to do, just charge them. That was advice you got back in the day. All right, come in here. All right, let's see here. So we just reviewed the hip bump. So we were here, up, right, we're sweeping over, we're coming wide, secure and mount. We reviewed we clear, we hip bump, it comes out. I'm dropping into this Kimura, right, turning, getting the tap. And we reviewed the hip bump, and he kind of stops me here. I wrap, make space, hit my guillotine. Right, that's what we reviewed. So this one I'm getting ready to show is by far my favorite because I'm a triangle guy, but we're going to hit the triangle out of this. I love this. I hit this. This is one of my things I hit on higher belts. One of my more frequent things that I hit on higher belts. So, because I triangle good, and this works well into it. So I clear, I come up in my hip bump, and I get this. That little bit of space is all I need. This one, I kind of circle his hand and I hook on his neck, and I fall this way. So I clear, I come up, I knock him off balance. I've got to have this hand come out. My elbow circles his hand, and my hand's hooking at his neck. I'm digging my fingers like in his vein here. So we're here. I slide back this way. I start throwing my head that direction. I bring my knee to my chest. So I'm looking to land here. All right, I want to go into this TP position here. So if I hit this in full speed, I'm here. I come up and do this. Right into this. Notice I'm locking my foot that's on his back is the bottom, or the foot that goes around his neck is the bottom one. That makes me a lot more stronger. I'm going to start working my foot back to this side, and it's still going to be the bottom foot. It connects me a lot better than if I was the other way. It's a way more secure grip. My head's going this way, and that side leg should be the top one. Right, that's what I'm looking to hit. So we're in here, I clear, I knock him off balance, I jump back through that big hole I just made. Right, we're coming up. I'm trying to catch this if I can right away. It depends on your ability to triangle here. I'm usually going right here as soon as possible and trying to get my foot in the hip so I can start changing back to this other angle. Right, once we get here, I'm triangling. If you're long enough to triangle, do it. If not, you can kind of TP here, and I push this knee back in towards his shoulder. Right? I want to keep my foot off to the side, so if he postures up, I'm still connected really well. Right? It's a lot easier for me to break him down than if my TP was in the middle. He can get a lot more posture before I ever make a solid connection here. So, we're in here. I pull this up this way. I triangle. I like to finish from here. If you're not experienced with triangles yet, what I want you doing is fully extending your hips, which puts this arm up in the air. Even if he's trying to keep it on this side, I'm going to grab at the elbow, I pull it across. Now, notice I'm just above the elbow, right? If I get down here, that adds an extra joint for him to fight easy. I get just above the elbow, and I shove his bicep up under his neck. I ball back up. I go to the back of the head. This hand, I prefer to go under the leg, right, to here to pull my head this way. If I can't get under the leg, I'll go under the bicep. If I need to, I'll put my foot back in the hip to turn further. Relock. Right here, it's all about how much thigh is connected to his neck. The more thigh to the neck, the easier this is to finish. From here, I pull his head down, I ball up, I get a nice little tap. You good? You need a second? All right, so once again, it looks like this. So I clear, I bump, knee through, I'm grabbing my shin as soon as possible, elbow tucks, foot in the hip, I rotate. If you know what you're doing here, and you can find this angle right there, where you're getting a lot of neck exposure, I can finish right here, right? This is done. If I'm not comfortable there, I'm going to hip all the way up, fight this arm across, I'm just above the elbow, I try to shove his bicep into his neck, I ball back up, go to the back of the head, dive under the leg preferably. If I can't get that, I'll get the arm, and then I ball up, pull the head in, get my tap. You can see this? Yeah. Come here, Alan. Haven't strangled you in a couple days. All right, so once again, he's got good habits. He's here. I clear, I'm up, I bump him off balance. This hand here, my elbow just kind of circles. Right, so I'm here, I circle over, and I'm catching right here. I'm trying to grab like his vein here. Right, so I'm here. This knee comes to my chest, and I throw my head that way. Oh, we're coming right up in here. I'm usually grabbing this. If you can't get this right away, clamp this foot down on top of this one. Right, I'm usually right here right away. I work my foot in the hip. If you can't get your foot in the hip, you can also post on the mat. Just make sure that this arm is pinched in real tight. Right, he's pretty, go ahead and wiggle out here. Right, my other leg is just kind of straight out here. Go ahead and wiggle out. Right, we're pretty connected here. And I can still bone right back into this triangle. So if I can't get into the hip, I will post on the floor. I'm this way, right, I hip up, push this over, ball up, lights go out. And my knee does too. Can you see it again? Good. Any questions? Good. That's what we like. All right, let's get together, drill. All right, so we're back here at the same spot. We're gonna hit this same setup. I clear, come up a bump, right? I'm clearing my elbow and I'm just making a big hook here. Some of y'all are struggling with this. So when I'm falling back, I just gotta get his head to come under my armpit, and this big hook catches as my knee comes to my chest. Right? A lot of times it'll get stuck in here too, and then I just fight it out from there. We go right into our triangle. So as we're going into this triangle, we're going to say we miss a step, and he starts to posture up here, right? So from here, yep, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to hook the head. I might hook with both heads, with both hands on his head. We'll figure out what these body parts here is one day. So I'm in here, and notice how I've got this foot on top, right? That makes me a lot stronger than if I'm this way. Just the way he tries to break out here, and I push my elbow in. So from here, I'll hook both hands on his head, right? We'll get the right body parts here. And I'm gonna start trying to fight this over, right? But if I can't break him back down, I can't choke him, right? If he can stay up here, even if I get this arm all the way over here, if he can stay up here, I'm not gonna choke him. Does that make sense? So what I like to do here is I'll get here, and if I can't break him back down, I'll grab this, and I stay connected. I catch here, I rotate my hips to the outside of his leg. Turn me. So we're here, right? He's posturing up. I'll catch here. This foot comes off on his hip, and I pop my butt to the outside of his leg. From here, I step over his head. And this is where a lot of people mess up. A lot of people think it's all in the extension of the body, right? So I'm going to go full extension here, right? And this kind of sucks. But what I really want to do is pull my heels to my butt, right? This stays connected to my body, and I push my feet towards the mat, and I don't have to go very far to get the tap, right? As opposed to this, right? See all that's happening? Lots of bad stuff here. I'm completely extended here. I'm barely getting the tap. So if he comes back up here, we're in this triangle, he starts posturing up, right? I'm catching the head, I can't quite get this. I pop my hip out, I step over his head, and both of my feet come down. I'm not crossed, right? My feet are together, my knees are pinched like I gotta pee, right? I'm a little kid that's gotta pee. I keep this arm connected to my chest, I pull my heels in, and I start pushing my heels to the mat, and I'm probably not gonna have to extend. Right there's the tap, so I'm gonna let go of his arm. I can just keep, so I can literally, right? This would still be connected if my feet hit the mat. If y'all want to come over here and see what I'm talking about, it's kind of out of your sight of vision.
actually come back up here. So I'll take him to tap right here. Right. So we're in here. I'll take him to tap right there. Right. So I'm just going to keep a little pressure on this so it stays somewhat straight. So if I force my feet all the way to the mat, right, his arm would still be connected to my chest, but it would be bent backwards, right? So he's got to be pretty flexible to be there because I've created all this separation, right? So it's still connected. And if I make it to here and he's super flexible, I can also come to here. So you can see how far his elbow would be bent the wrong direction. Does that make sense? Yeah. So his elbow would be bent about that far, but the other direction. Somebody posted one of my fights on YouTube. I'll try to find a link to it. But you can watch the guy's arm go across my hip and bend probably about that far the other direction, right? Yeah, but that's the goal, right? Because some people let you have their arm. They won't tap, especially if it's something big, right? It's a title fight, it's a cash fight, you know, something like that. It means them moving to the next level. They will let you take that arm to try to win the fight, right? So sometimes you're going to have to break things, right? That's what it comes down to. So once again, I'm in here. We're here. I hit this hip bump into my triangle. He starts posturing up. So I'm catching here. Notice which foot's on the top, right? I'm clamped down. And I've got this knee pushed in, so I'm kind of pulled off to the side a little bit. I'll catch this. I shoot my hips out to the side, and now I bite over. My heels come down, like towards my butt as tight as I can. I keep this connected, and I start pushing my feet to the mat. I get my tap. This is one of the most common arm bars that I hit, just because I triangle a lot, so this works out well for me. You need to see this? Let me grab you out. So you arm bar a lot anyways, this will be a nice setup for you if you end up in the triangle position. So I'm in here, right, clear, boom. I come into my triangle. Go ahead, start posturing up, right? So he starts posturing up. I'm putting pressure here, right? I switch to this. I connect to this arm. I pop my hip out. Come over. Everything's nice and tight, right? We keep this connected, and I just start forcing my feet down. So once again, I'm here, I clear. Boom, I bump. Come into this triangle. He starts posturing up. So I connect here. I pop my hip out. I put my leg over, right, and I start pushing that. Any questions? Excellent, let's drill.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you got a lot of good information out of it. It's a great setup. Like I say, I hit this a lot on the higher level guys. I'm a triangle guy, so that plays into it a lot. Might not work for you, but just definitely good to have in your arsenal or to know where it's coming from in case somebody's throwing it at you. So anyways, tell me what you think about it. Give me ideas for future videos, what you'd like to see. If you've tried this, if it worked well for you, if it didn't, problems you had. And as always, like, subscribe, get to a gym. If you're in Virginia, check out the MMA Institute. We've got a couple all over Virginia. If you're close to Harrisonburg, Virginia, come to ours. I teach classes here. We got a lot of great coaches. We'd love to see you in here. Catch you next time.